heroes.
It's an old-fashioned notion.
A visionary, a genius, ensuring freedom around the globe.
A symbol to the nation, a hero to the world.
The beacon of hope, shining out across the stars.
I look around at us, you know what I see?
A bunch of a-holes.
Kevin James, the King of Queens. Paul Blart, Otis. Wait, he was Otis? Oh, damn, he was Otis. Also known to be a big buddy of Adam Sandler, frequently appearing in Happy Madison films. He's a stand-up comedian, an actor, and most recently a YouTuber. And after re-experiencing one of his films, these past few months, I set out to watch every single Kevin James movie. And I did. And I'm going to talk about them. And I'll even rank them in a tier list by how much Kevin James it was giving, in combination with if it was a watchable movie. Now, without further ado, let's start at the beginning.
Start your engine!
2004, 50 First Dates. 50 First Dates, Kevin James' theatrical debut, and he is a factory worker. Yeah, he's in this movie for about half a second as a gay joke. You know, this movie's alright, but as far as Kevin James goes, it doesn't have enough Kevin. Next, 2005, Hitch. Okay, now this movie is a proper debut for Kevin James. Truly a great showcase of Kevin's comedic talent and the start of some of his classic techniques. This movie's led by Will Smith and Eva Mendes. It's a rom-com all about the relationship consultant Hitch teaching his clients how to get the lady of their dreams. And while this concept may sound like it will be sleazy and insanely misogynistic, there's actually some decent advice. Now, it hasn't aged perfectly. I'd say like maybe 60% of the movie actually holds up, but the main thing we're interested in is Hitch's client, Albert, played by the one and only Kevin James. We see his journey becoming the man he truly is. We get some great Kevin content in this. First off, Will Smith and him have fantastic chemistry, especially in this legendary dance scene. There are actually a lot of scenes of Kevin James dancing, and trust me, that will be a common theme throughout this video. There's some dorky moments that come off more earnestly than tropey, and he's just an easy character to root for throughout this movie. But as I said, this is still mainly a Will Smith movie, and to be honest, I really enjoyed myself. I would recommend this even if you aren't a huge Kevin James fan. I think you'll be surprised by this one. With that, we have our first A-tier movie, 2006, Grilled. Next is a straight-to-DVD movie starring Kevin James and Ray Romano. We follow meat salesmen. No, I'm not kidding. Meat salesmen trying to find their perfect customer to make it big, and hijinks ensue. And if you think, oh, you know, that's a unique concept, it must be interesting in the least. No, I was bored out of my mind the entire time, even with the hijinks. It's just shot so plainly and scenes go on forever, and while there are some attempts at fun dialogue and jokes, they all just fall completely flat. Including one where Sofia Vergara is revealed to be a trans woman, and they make jokes about that. And also there's a kid being convinced by his dad to hook up with a hooker for his bar mitzvah. And yeah, it hasn't aged very well. Just like Kevin James' hair in this movie. And Kevin in this movie doesn't really stand out. I guess I would say Ray Romano feels more like the lead in this, but I was bored and confused almost the entire time. I definitely skipped this one. I really expected more for this movie, considering it's Ray Romano who kickstarted Kevin James' whole career when Kevin first appeared on Everybody Loves Raymond. So for me, guys, this is our first F-tier movie. Yeah, it was really bad. 2006, Monster House. Yo, Monster House, great movie. I hope Kevin's in it a lot. Yeah, he plays this cop, and while he was great in the role, I just feel like there wasn't enough of him, so we're putting this movie in the not enough Kevin tier. 2006, Barnyard. I had only seen this movie probably once when it first came out. I mostly remember watching the show back at the Barnyard, so I was pretty curious to see how this movie would hold up. And to be honest, I also had no idea Kevin James was the voice of Otis. Anyways, Barnyard is about a group of animals on a farm and how they behave when humans aren't looking. And okay, why are they acting like animals if they're capable of talking and walking? Like, they're still getting killed? Are they just not gonna speak up when they're about to be murdered? We follow Otis and his group of friends and their barnyard antics as we see Otis learn to be a leader and protector for the farm as coyotes threaten it. And guys, I had such a fun time with this movie. Sure, the animation looks like the kind that YouTubers are always making fun of, but that adds to the charm. Also, let me just go down the list here, okay? We got Mr. Bombastic, Everett the 13-year-old dog, Wild Mike, Pig, whose name is just Pig even though everyone else has names, the mailman scene, Jonah Hill, I Won't Back Down sung by Sam Elliott, Wild Mike again, the pizza guy, this shot, and by far my favorite bit is this scene.
Hey, old Bud, you bring the stuff?
It's right here, huh?
Show it.
It's right here.
Show it.
It's right here.
Show it.
It's right there.
Oh.
It's just such a ridiculous scene, like he just keeps saying, show it. What? This movie just doesn't feel real the entire time. It was spectacular. Kevin James does a pretty alright job in this. I won't lie, a lot of my enjoyment from this movie stems from the animation, but I gotta admit that the voice actors did a pretty good job as well. We get this one bonding scene between Otis and his dad Ben. Kevin James also makes Otis feel pretty badass towards the end at the final fight. So yeah, this movie was utterly ridiculous in the best way, and Kevin gets a pretty large part in it, even if his character is just one element in this animated fever dream. A tier. 2007. I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. First movie co-starring Adam Sandler and Kevin James, and it's about two straight friends pretending to be gay? Oh, this should be good. So, Adam Sandler, or Chuck, plays a very Quagmire-type character in this movie, while Larry is a widower who tries to increase his life insurance policy for his kids, but for some reason he can't do it without marrying again. And after Larry saves Chuck's life in a burned building, Chuck agrees to marry Larry to help him out. And then we get racist-ass, professional, unfunny man, Rob Schneider officiating the wedding. Yeah, actually, this movie has aged terribly. However, later we do see some legit issues discussed in this movie, and for the most part, they treat it pretty well. Like Chuck standing up to the homophobic protesters, or Larry talking to the rest of the firehouse about how unfair it is to treat them differently just because they're gay. Kevin James definitely is playing the more straight man. Straight. Kevin James is definitely playing the more straight man in this one, but he's still got some great delivery and chemistry with Sandler. There's some funny jokes, there's some terrible jokes, and some questionable choices like having Larry act disappointed about his son potentially being gay, and the whole sequence of Chuck pursuing Alex the lawyer. Besides Deuce Bigelow being on screen, I had a surprisingly good time with this one as well. B tier. 2008. You Don't Mess with the Zohan. Kevin's playing himself in a cameo, moving on. Now for the one you've been waiting for. Kevin James. His most iconic film role. Paul Blart. Mall Cop. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry, but this was mid. Like, it was pretty boring and not really that funny, even in a sarcastic way. I guess I should describe this movie a little bit. It's basically the kid version of Die Hard, except it's Kevin James instead of Bruce Willis, and it's in a mall. I mean, seriously, guys, these movies have almost the exact same beats. I will praise a couple of things about this movie. I think Kevin is a great physical performer and is great at emoting. Seriously, he has great control over his face, whether he's laughing hysterically or, of course, the smolder. He can log it down. I'd say action-wise, I like the scene where Paul jumps the roof in the Segway and then ascends from the ball pit still on the Segway. Yeah, so I think the concept of this movie maybe could have worked, but it just got so predictable and everything besides Paul Blart was extremely boring. also the bad guys were all like skaters and into extreme sports so much for some reason. Like, what? I will say the soundtrack to this movie was surprisingly stellar. They got Runaway by Bon Jovi and Weekend in New England by Barry Manilow. Sign me up. But this movie, C tier. 2010, Grown Ups. Yes, the Avengers of the Adam Sandler verse. Grown Ups follows a group of childhood friends reunite for their coach's funeral. We get to see their families and what they've been up to as they all stay at a cabin to bond in nostalgic activities. So we got Adam Sandler, Chris Rock, Kevin James, David Spade, and Rob Schneider, whose shtick gets boring after the first 5 seconds. And then he gets shot in the foot with an arrow. Yippee! Okay, I'm done talking about him in this movie. Honestly, I know this movie isn't seen as that great, as comedically it is pretty middle of the road, and, you know, treats all the wives pretty terribly in my opinion. But I don't know, for some reason, I just have a real soft spot for this movie. Maybe it's because it's sort of a time capsule in terms of late 2000s, early 2010s humor, or because maybe I was around the age to still quote movie trailers and I just remember liking the trailer for this movie a bunch. But how is the KJ in this? He's pretty good. Yeah, he has that one pee joke in the pool, but guys, we got the fancy footwork Kevin, we got the smoldering Kevin, and my favorite scene in the movie is where Kevin and Adam's character just mess with David Spade's character.
Marcus, you're gonna be the best lifeguard at the whole pool. Hold your breath, honey. Hold your breath, honey.
Anyways, like I said, I have a soft spot for this one, and Kevin was pretty good, so for me, B tier. 2011, The Dilemma. Wow, Vince Vaughn and Kevin James, this must be a home run. It was bad. Besides Kevin James dancing at the very beginning, I was just bored or annoyed the entire movie. Really, we're just following Vince Vaughn's character the whole movie as he tries to navigate his relationships with his best friend Kevin James and whether he should tell him or not that his wife is having an affair. It gets even messier and complicated as people start to suspect that Vince Vaughn's character is actually gambling or something. Oh, also, we're supposed to be invested at the same time in Vaughn and Kevin's car design plans that they're creating, I guess. Kevin gets to do some more dramatic scenes, and he does fine, so there's that. And also, there's like maybe a funny scene with Channing Tatum, but again, I just wanted to stop watching this one. This Ron Howard directed movie gets a D for Dilemma. 2011, Zookeeper. Now we're getting to the prime Kevin James. This movie is a roller coaster. So the concept is Kevin James is struggling romantically after his longtime girlfriend refuses his proposal and he considers leaving the zoo he works at. The zoo animals there apparently can talk and want to make sure Griffin, Kevin's character, stays at the zoo. So I guess this must take place in the Barnyard universe because instead of Griffin being the only one who can hear the animals talk, which would be the expected way to do it, all animals just, again, hide to humans that they can apparently talk. Yeah, we got Sylvester Stallone lion, Cher lion, Adam Sandler plays a monkey, and oh my god, his voice is terrible. I mean, worse than any voice he's ever done, and that's saying something. It's almost so bad that it's good again. Almost, though. As in, it's still terrible. Seriously, listen.
Except for parrots. Somehow they get away with it. I'm a parrot.
Anyways, about 2/3 through the movie, it takes a huge pivot at making Griffin being a car salesman with his brother and romantically competing against Joe Rogan? Huh? At the end, Griffin and Rosario Dawson end up realizing they should be together and continue working for the zoo and helping the animals. So let's go over what I liked first. The concept of the movie is fun. You know, Kevin's taking advice from animals leads to some interesting situations, like when he pees in a bush at a restaurant to assert his dominance, or his training sequence with the bears. Also, I gotta mention the emotional core of the movie, Bernie the gorilla, who of course bonds with Griffin at TGI Fridays. What is this movie? Bernie's also being abused by a Wahlberg brother, and when Griffin finds out, holy shit, he kicks the crap out of him. I also did really like all the scenes where Griffin and Joe Rogan go toe-to-toe. I especially like when Joe Rogan ate shit, but my god, the most majestic scene in the entire movie is at the wedding. we see Griffin, no, Kevin fly so peacefully and gracefully. You can't help but just feel the genuine fun and joy that man is having. It's just a beautiful sight to see. Oh yeah, but what happened with the last third of this movie? It's like they wrote two separate movies here. I mean, we take a hard shift to Griffin's brother's car dealership and how Griffin wants to impress his old girlfriend with money, and I guess I get how it relates to the plot, but we just hang on it for so damn long. It just makes the movie, to be honest, a complete mess. Nonetheless, it was a great showcase of Kevin James' abilities, and maybe the messiness adds to the charm of it. So for me, it's B tier. Also, oh my god, the post-credit scene when Matt Damon comes out and tells Kevin James about the Buying a Zoo initiative, that was pretty cool. Now onto the movie that kickstarted this whole quest. Here comes the peak, baby. Oh yeah! Here Comes the Boom is a movie I first watched a long time ago with a friend, and we always joked and hailed it as one of the greatest movies of all time. And you know what? After rewatching it, this shit is the magnum opus of not only Kevin James, but Henry Winkler as well. That's right, Barry has got nothing on Here Comes the Boom. I could make a whole hour-long video explaining my love for this movie. First off, it's got all the bases covered. Kevin James doing what he does best, fancy feet, smoldering, falling down. We got a classic supporting cast, Baz Rutten, Gary Valentine, Shelley Desai, and Joe Rogan again. But the emotional core of the movie, Henry Winkler, is the glue of this movie. How does this man put his heart and soul into every scene? I just feel so much whenever he talks in this film. Guys, I gotta be honest, I don't want to say too much about this movie. You need to experience the journey of Scott Voss on your own. Do I even need to say it? S tier. 2012, Hotel Transylvania. A hotel for monsters. Wow, so very cool. A human and monster fall in love, but dad doesn't approve. Oh wait, he does approve. Also, Adam Sandler's Dracula is pretty bad, and by pretty bad, I mean it's just terrible. But Kevin, of course, is playing Frankenstein, and he does okay, I guess. He does a decent roar near the end, and maybe he sings. I don't know if that's actually him, or... There's a couple of scenes that I thought were funny, but like most of this movie, it's all held up by the animation, like Frankenstein diving into the pool or Quasimodo. I thought I would hate this movie, but it's just kinda, C tier. 2013, Grown Ups 2. So I could try to describe the plot of this movie, but I gotta be honest, I've never seen a movie that has less plot than this one. Like, there is almost nothing at all. It's just a collection of random scenes. I guess it somehow takes place over a day, even though a billion things happen. Like, it's hilarious when you try to map out things time-wise. In this movie, I feel like they eat dinner 5 times in the same day. Someone needs to try to see if it's even possible for this movie to exist in the current space-time continuum. I would say for Kevin James, we really stick to some of his worst shticks. Like, hey, did you guys know that Kevin James is heavy? And hey, he's burping and farting. Isn't that gross? Oh, but he's doing it at the same time. And guess what? That's how this movie ends, with a burp snort. And that's how I'll remember this movie, as a time-defying burp snort. Although I did like Tim Meadows and Shaq. D tier. 2015, Paul Blart, Mall Cop 2. Alright, so for the plot of this one, you know what? Why am I even describing the plot? Most of these movies are not very complicated at all, and you mostly know what you're getting into before you're even watching it. Paul Blart goes to Vegas, and there's a bad guy trying to do bad things. Notable things. Let's see. Paul forms the Security Avengers. Paul survives things nobody could ever survive. David Henry's in this. There's this scene.
Up you go, Missy. Whoa! Whoa!
All right, guys, who took my show here?
And we get the ultimate smolder followed up by the worst CGI double I've ever seen. But honestly, overall, I feel like it was mostly like the first one, but maybe a little bit better. Not by much. I think this movie does focus a little bit more on Paul Blart, for better and worse. And the ridiculousness of this movie kind of made me like it a little bit more. C tier. 2015, Little Boy. Serious World War II movie. He plays a doctor in a scene. Okay, next. 2015, Pixels. Aliens invade, but they're video games? And who is Kevin playing? The President of the United States? Yeah, honestly, this role had so much potential and could have been hilarious, but he's really in the back seat for this movie almost the entire time. Even when I thought he was finally gonna get his time to shine towards the end of the movie, when he enters the final level, he kinda just did nothing. Josh Gad was Adam Sandler was fine, Peter Dinklage was pretty funny, and the women, as usual, are just written terribly. Why would she be buckling Adam Sandler in the scene? It's just a seatbelt. It's just a car. Why would she do this? Kevin does some fancy feet though, so C tier. 2015, Hotel Transylvania 2. Mavis and Johnny have a kid. That's the story. This is behind Grown Ups 2 and barely having a plot. It's pretty much worse in every way to the first one. Even in terms of Frankenstein, there's like one joke that I guess is fine with Frank trying on Dracula's cape, but again, like the first one, it's mostly being held up by the animation. Blobby was fun though. D tier. 2016, True Memoirs of an International Assassin. Finally, we're back to an action-led Kevin James movie, and holy crap, why is this so boring and lifeless? You know, I had high hopes for this one, as the intro had me intrigued with the writer seeing himself in the story as he's writing it. And there was some cool graphics as well at the beginning, but it just evolves into a very predictable and quite exposition-heavy movie. Kevin James has like maybe one or two funny moments, like when he gets shot and reacts like a normal person when they're shot. Other than that, I wanted my time back from this movie. It's going in the F tier. 2017, Sandy Wexler. Kevin James plays Ted Rafferty, and to be honest, he's really not integral to anything that's happening in this movie, and I'd honestly just forget about it. Stick this one in Not Enough Kevin and move on. Hotel Transylvania 3, Summer Vacation. Based off the last Hotel Transylvania, I'm gonna go ahead and assume Frankenstein is barely in this movie and just not watch this one. Also, I'm so glad that Kevin James doesn't voice Frankenstein in the fourth one, so I don't have to watch Human Frank.
What's up?
2020, Becky. This was a surprise. Kevin took a huge swing and decided to play a villain, and not just any villain, a neo-Nazi. This movie follows, well, Becky to save her family and pets after Kevin and his goons invade her house. There is some gnarly kills in this movie that I was not expecting. Like, I definitely can't show them on YouTube, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm impressed Kevin took such a different role, so he gets points for that. Also, hey, Jeff from Community is in this. No, really, it's Joel McHale playing a guy named Jeff again. B tier. 2020, Hubie Halloween. This one also didn't have enough Kevin, or maybe it did. To be honest, I watched this one a while ago and thought it was just terrible. So I'm just assuming his character wasn't in it a lot. He plays a cop again. 2022, Home Team. Lastly, with his most recent film outing, we end with a boring biopic about a potentially terrible person and coach. Like, seriously, it seems like they never really addressed the accusations that Sean Payton had. Some of the kids were funny, I guess, and Gary Valentine was definitely the highlight of the movie, but really that's it. Also, Kevin chews gum the whole time, and he really has no personality? Really? Well, there's also Taylor Lautner, but they didn't let him do anything. Okay. Oh yeah, and Rob Schneider. F tier. And with that, we are done. I think Kevin is also going to be in that upcoming Adam Sandler Leo movie voicing someone. Will I watch it? Well, maybe. I don't know. I'll probably just give my thoughts on Twitter or X or Threads or whatever platform survives. Also, I hope he's in a live-action Family Guy movie. After experiencing all of Kevin James' films, I can say that he certainly does have talent. Probably more so for physical comedy, but whenever they lean too heavily on jokes about weight, food, or just him falling down, it becomes, well, just terrible. And it happens quite frequently. I hope he's in more projects similar to Here Comes the Boom, or maybe even a revised, better version of Paul Blart in the future. Maybe in the future I'll watch King of Queens and review it on the channel, or maybe some other beloved sitcom. Also, oh my gosh, as I finished editing this video, Kevin James of all people became a meme format, and I cannot believe the chances of that. Well deserved, sir. Anyways, Kevin James says to like, comment, and subscribe, and so does LG Rhythm. Now, Pete, send these Paul Blarts down to Rob Schneider's house.